So the Mexican Grand Prix happened. Interesting race, spicy race. Not for Lando Norris though, who had a very, very comfortable Sunday drive, winning by about half a minute and absolutely dominating the race, taking the lead of the championship in the process by a point from Oscar Piastri, who had another tricky weekend. Did well to recover in the race, but could only manage P5 in the end, and as a result has dropped to second place in the championship. But that wasn't really the main talking point from that race. The main talk, again, is the FIA, the stewarding, and the penalties. Both Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen escaped penalties on lap 1 after leaving the track and gaining places. Leclerc overtaking Hamilton and Verstappen ending up ahead of George Russell. Lewis Hamilton himself then got a 10-second time penalty for leaving the track himself and gaining an advantage. A penalty that I thought was slightly harsh. I think a 5-second penalty would have sufficed. Yes, he didn't leave and rejoin in the correct place, and he did end up further along ahead of the cars that he was fighting, although you could argue that it was maybe because there were about 3 cars behind him that had got tangled in a bit of a battle themselves, and that's why Hamilton ended up gaining time. But yeah, I think a 10-second penalty was pretty harsh and ended up ruining Hamilton's race in the end. He ended up finishing 8th on the road and quite a way behind everybody else when a podium could well have been on the cards. Ollie Bearman put in an absolute worldie of a performance to finish P4. It looked like a podium could have been on for him for a while, but Max Verstappen's second stint on that soft tyre enabled him to pull away from the Haas driver and rule out any chance of that happening, sadly, for the rookie. But a phenomenal drive from Ollie Bearman nonetheless, and by far his best performance in Formula 1 so far. And then towards the end of the race, Max Verstappen was catching Charles Leclerc at a rate of knots, those softs not degrading as much as people thought they would. And just as Verstappen was about to really close in and have a go, the virtual safety car comes out. Now, it came out because Carlos Sainz's car was stricken at turn 12, but it wasn't stricken on the racetrack. It was stricken behind a barrier, and a lot of people, myself included, were left a bit frustrated because we were denied what could have been an incredible battle in those last 2 laps. They threw out the virtual safety car. It killed off that battle for second place when we really didn't need one, to be honest. And yeah, the FIA or the steward, should I say, ruining the end of that race ended up being a bit of an anticlimax. Leclerc stayed in second, Verstappen stayed in third. And yeah, unfortunately, didn't quite end as dramatically as we wanted. I thought it was a pretty enjoyable race on the whole. I mean, Mexico can be a little bit hit and miss at times, but I think this was definitely one of the better ones. We've had a change in the lead of the championship. We had some tasty battles up and down the field, and we had some dodgy stewarding decisions to have a go at as well. So it provided a little bit of everything. Going into Brazil, obviously it's going to be ultra close now between Norris and Piastri. Can Piastri find his way back to form? Can Lando Norris keep this good momentum going? Can Max Verstappen close in on Lando Norris, or has that ship sailed? We'll have to wait and find out, but it's going to be a fascinating Brazilian Grand Prix. And yeah, really looking forward to these last 4 races of the championship.